semi-final session in this course, and let me start the recording. Today we have our final practice session, which is one side summarizing co-creation session, but on the other side it's like summarizing all our course. And today, as we announced in a letter, we will have two parts in our practice session. First part will lead by Arthur, Dr. Arthur Shaley, and we will try to check that our current level of depthness, understanding and practicing and being collaborative. Second part, we will do in our regular team, and we will summarize and extract key findings and recording the video based on our show scenario, which we are collecting in a previous practice session, and what we have. That's the plan for today. We start from parts which lead by Arthur, and after that concluded, and only after that move to the second part. The key purpose of this session is to enjoy collaboration. Please feel free, do any mistakes, ask any crazy questions, and do everything what you want. It's a special place for doing all this stuff. That's all from my side. Arthur, please, your turn. Give us all instructions which we need to have before we go into collaboration exploring, and we will be ready.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Madan, have a message. Madan,
yeah. I want all of us to wish Arthur a happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much. In some time zones, perhaps still. Thank you, Madan. I usually don't make a big thing of my birthday, but it's nice to celebrate with friends, and I feel I'm with friends right now. Thank you. Okay, so Marina said that my connection was a little poor before. It's okay now? Okay, great, thank you. I'm a little worried about it because I'm in the middle of nowhere in Australia at the moment. Literally sitting in a caravan park in a small country town of 1,200 people. So, you know, having connection can be, so if I disappear, I'm sure Vadim and Olga and Madan will easily finish the task, but I hope to be here. So we've come a long way together. There's 25 of us, so maybe the 10 groups can be 2.5 people per group. I'm sure that Arena can arrange that, 2 or 3 per group. The best way to really test your knowledge of collaboration, given that we're now been together for, this is our 17th week, is to give you a small exam. And then depending on what happens in the exam, we can then talk about where you do have knowledge, and perhaps where there are gaps in the knowledge. So we're going to put you to test under time pressure and say groups have just 10 minutes to answer as many questions as possible and to maximize your score. So there are 10 questions. You probably will not finish everything you need to do in 10 minutes, but that's okay. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can achieve in 10 minutes. So we're going to go into the breakout groups. There are, you'll see you're going to be randomly assigned to groups just to mix things up a little bit. So when you get into your group, on the Miro board, which Olga or Irina will share a link for in a moment in the chat, go to your group. You'll see the 10 questions. Just work together and each group to record as many answers as they possibly can. So you got the idea of what you need to do? And then in 10 minutes, everyone will come back to the group and we'll talk about the experience. Why did we do that? What happened? And we'll have a good indication of where things are at, and we'll just have a discussion about it. Okay, I think we can go to the groups.
Link in the chat, please copy it before you go into the group. And please remind, the name of your group is the same as the number of your forms. If you are in a room number 1, you're in a group number 1, etc., etc., etc. 10 minutes, please enjoy. Welcome back, dear friends. Arthur, please turn on your mic. We would like to know what you're thinking about it.
Right. I failed my exam, you see. I forgot to turn my mic back on. So how was that experience for you? What was that about? Well, first of all, let's talk about some basic results. If I could just get a quick in the Zoom chat answer to how many questions you think you completed out of the 10. If people can just put that up, group 1, I think about 6. Yes, one group didn't get to the task, group 5. So Barbara, which group were you in? You got 5 questions? Group 3, 8 questions. That's very good. Johnny, I see you're very happy.
No.
You're facial.
I'm sorry, we came too late, and so we didn't get the task. So when I just entered the plenary room,
it's our group number 5.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
sorry for this, but we introduced ourselves, and I think it was a very happy atmosphere, nevertheless.
Excellent. So you had fun, but you did not address the task, right?
Correct.
we could see you weren't addressing a task because Olga and I were watching all 10 groups across Miro. We were sort of observing, not spying, observing on what you were doing. Very good, but I'm glad you got to that. Group 4 got 6. Of the questions that you answered, so we got a range of no questions at all up to 8. I think 2 teams said they answered 8 questions. Are you confident that you got the right answers? No? Graziny's kind of don't think so.
So more or less, we were under time pressures. So and we had also issues. Miro, it was always jumping and moving me to totally another place. So
and that's what happens. Philip, I can see that you were very productive in your group, team 1, at least partially, and I think you got 6 or 7 answers for yours. Did you, Philip? Can you confirm one way or the other?
Well, we actually have 8 answers, but we're not sure that we should take credit. We actually added 10, but we're not taking credit for all of them.
Right. So what do you mean you're not taking credit for them all?
Well, some of the answers might not be as good as others.
Right. And what makes you think that?
Because I read the answer that I wrote myself in the question now, and it's not perfectly correct.
Right. Okay. So let me ask another question of all groups.
Arthur, we lost you. Can you switch off your video, please? Arthur, can you please switch off video?
Any of the answers that were given by the 9 other groups.
Arthur, do you hear me now?
No.
That's a problem of camping in the middle of Australia. Arthur, do you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Great. Please turn on your mic. And we've lost connection from your side when you ask us another question. Please tell us which another question you would like to ask.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Excellent work. Thank you for muting me and unmuting me. That was a good collaborative solution to a technical challenge. Yes. So the question I wanted to ask you, and I'm sorry that I'm off video, but it's flaky out here, is how many of you looked at any answers written by any other group? Anyone?
Arthur,
Why not?
I don't know, do you see our video? But now I see a few faces which was so surprised. Really, we can do it?
Yeah. I can see all of your faces. And why would you not? This is a course on collaboration, right? And I said, we are going to break into groups and we are going to try and answer as many questions as we can given the time. Now, of course, if we collaborated and we're all in the same call, we're all trying to learn the same thing. And if we collaborated, I mean, group 1 could answer question 1, group 2 could answer question 2, group 3. And then, of course, amongst the 10 groups, in less than 10 minutes, we would have all questions answered. Correct? Furthermore, while you're thinking about that, we'll come back to that for a moment. Just let that sink in, because various things will come out of that. Did any of you notice question 9?
Yeah.
Question 9 was...
9.
Yeah, Philip, what can you tell me about question 9?
I reuse it to answer question 1.
Correct. That is very good. Good sense making. So question 9 was a true or false. But the question 9 on each of the 10 groups was different. It was a true, is this true? But question 9 was actually an answer to one of the questions. So if you just took question 9 and cut and pasted it, the question 9 for group 1 was the answer to question 1. The question 9 for group 2 was the answer to question 2, etc. So the answers to all 9 questions, it looks like there's 10 questions, but there's actually 9. The answer to every question is actually within the pink sheet across the 10 groups. So you were there looking right at all of the answers right in front of you, and yet no group got all of the answers. I'm very impressed with a couple of groups. Group 3 and group 1 got 8 questions. Now, of course, we could go back and make a judgment as to how correct those answers are, right? But why did those two things happen? Given you had all of the answers written right in front of you on the same screens, and no group looked at any other group. What's going on? What's going on in your mind here that got in the way of that collaboration? Anyone can, there's only 30 people on the call, so anyone can just jump in and let's have an open conversation.
I think we switched a little bit to the competition mode, right? Which group is better? So
absolutely.
So we didn't want to collaborate, basically. We collaborated within our own group, but not with the others.
That is absolutely correct. And you remember we talked about collaborative positioning, and we talked about, you know, competition versus collaboration, internal collaboration to compete externally. But what actually happens in situations, particularly when I mentioned the word exam, it's automatic in your subconscious brain. It's automatic. You have to win. You have to compete, and that switch in your subconscious controls your behavior. And that's the real message here. The environment that the leader or the facilitator creates sets up an ecosystem where it biases your behavior. And that's what we were trying to demonstrate here. And you have just lived that. By the way, this works every single time. And I've got, this is the first time I've done it virtually. Normally it's done in a face-to-face, but it works perfectly, right? It works even better virtually because you've all got the answers there. You can all just look across. Nobody would even know that you're looking at the other group, and yet you still don't do it. Who would like to speak to that as to what's going on. Why do we compete automatically?
I think maybe this is the first thing we, as a human being, I guess, wants to do, to be better. But maybe we need to switch our mindset when, in general, not only when we are talking about collaboration. Like mindset of collaboration can help us to look on different things in different ways.
Absolutely. Thanks, Yuda. This is why I moved from the word mind set to mind flex. I have deliberately changed the word so that you consciously recognize not to fall into a particular way or a particular pattern of doing things. As Graznia was saying before, you know, we see exam, we start competing. It's something that you have to override the default behavior in order to collaborate. I mean, when you're having discussions in groups, the yes but is automatic. You're listening ready to criticize, or you're listening ready to find the weakness in the argument, rather than listening to add to what the other person is saying. And it's automatic, as you say. From the day we're born, even if you're a twin, were you the firstborn or were you the secondborn? When you go to school, were you, the top child in the school? Were you the fastest runner? Were you the highest jumper? Were you the highest A grade student or the lowest? We are ranked from the moment we breathe. So this gets reinforced over and over through your school, through, everything that you interact with tends to reinforce competition. Now, I'm not saying competition is wrong. You need to be able to compete, right? And the reason why this is done a lot is that in teaching people to compete, we feel we make them stronger. But actually, we amplify their strength if we teach them to collaborate. But you were never really taught to automatically collaborate. And that's what this little activity is designed to do. Whenever you're in a situation where you think you know what's happening and you automatically jump into it, just step back and say, am I stronger with other people doing this? Or am I actually quicker and stronger to do it myself? It takes practice, right? Johnny, you have a question.
I would like to add something. I completely agree what you're saying. And this something reminds me to what I learned. If someone gives you an information, let's say 80% positive aspects and 20% negative aspects, with very high probability, the receiver of the message grabs on the negative aspects and defends him or herself. It completely neglects the 80% positive. This is also something we have to consider while collaborating. I think it's human behavior. I don't know whether this is cultural minded or something. We usually tend to focus on the negative information and turn out the positive information. Better do it the other way around. I think this is also something we have to consider.
Yeah, absolutely right. And a great addition. Thanks, Johnny. I mean, one of the things that there's been a lot of research done on this sort of behavior, right? Are you an optimist or a pessimist? Are you sort of, able to see things that others don't see? In fact, there was a great book written by a guy called Gary Klein called Seeing What Others Don't. This ability to be able to see something where other people won't because of pattern behavior. There's a great story that you can use here to highlight just how this is. I'll do it very, very quickly, and you can use this. And if you've heard it before, that's fine. It's an old story. So there's a boy and his father are traveling in a car. There's a big accident. The father is killed instantly, and the boy is critically injured and rushed to hospital. When the boy gets to the hospital, the doctor looks at the boy and says, I cannot operate on this boy. He's my son. How is that possible?
I've
See,
heard this, but I won't guess it.
Yeah. Okay, just hold for 1 second. You see,
Uh,
this type of conundrum stuns us and stops us, right? But actually, there are multiple answers, and you do not see the multiple answers because your subconscious brain is making some connections there in a much stronger way than they should. Just like Yudo was saying before about we automatically go into competitive mode. You are automatically making associations between words that are not always true. And because of that, you cannot see all of those other possibilities. Okay, so Madan, would you like to add your answer?
Someone just type it in the chat window. It's there.
Oh, okay. I missed the chat window. What was the answer?
Oh, the mother is the doctor.
The mother is the doctor.
And two
Absolutely
fathers.
Yeah, and there are so many other answers as well. These days, two men, if they choose to identify that way, two men can have a child. The father may be a priest. It could have been the father from the church. It could be the biological father versus the like a stepfather. There are many possibilities here, but you don't see them because you automatically shift into a mindset, which is why we need to really keep our mind flex open all the time. Is this the only way? And what collaboration does is it brings, in this call, we can bring 30 perspectives into the conversation immediately. But if we're competing, I would say, my opinion is this, and I will tell you that the best way is. So then I'm advocating a position, competing to be the person who brings the winning solution to the group, rather than listening to those 30 perspectives. So collaboration is far more powerful, and it makes us more competitive once we learn to do it first. We just need to be open-minded before we go into closed-minded. Other thoughts on that? Other questions? It's pretty remarkable that it happens every single time, right? Whether you're physical or virtual. I'm pleased to see it worked virtual. The other point here, which Philip picked up on, is that question 9 is deliberate. If I had said up front, if I was a highly collaborative facilitator and I said, look, all of the answers are right before your eyes, you just need to talk with each other and think about it, you all would have got the answers really quickly. But the point of the exercise is that we do not do that automatically. The other thing is that we've all been learning about collaboration, and yet most of us can't get these answers really quickly. It takes practice. All of the answers are not only on that screen in front of you, but they are built into, how to collaborate is built into the last 16 weeks. You need to practice it so that you automatically start behaving in this way. You go into Mind Flex and incorporate and ask people questions first to make sense of the bigger context first. If you'd have quickly read through all of the questions, you probably would have picked up on the fact that, oh, look, there's one of the answers. Oh, if there's one answer here, I wonder if there is another answer in the same pattern in another group. And you could have picked that up quite quickly. You could have decided all to come back into the main group. You could have just gone around and said, okay, Olga, you go and look at what group 1's doing. I'll go and look at what group 2's doing. And by the way, we might even join their group and tell them, we've already got the answers to questions 1 and 2. Don't focus on those. What have you got? You could have collaborated. But we don't. Philip, sorry, what was that? Phil, you said something, but I missed it. I'm sorry. You're now on mute.
Mike, please turn on.
No, you're on mute, Philip.
No, still mute. Yeah.
That was my error. I should have been on mute.
Oh, okay. No problem at all. Thank you for your contribution anyway. It's always appreciated in a collaborative ecosystem. So I don't want to talk too much more because Olga's got another activity for you, but the reason I did this activity is so that you actually experience it. You say, yeah, I've done 16 weeks of, learning about collaboration. I know how to collaborate. I will do it. But actually we need to override that mindset. We need to make sure we're engaging a mind flex. And when we do that, it's remarkably powerful. Believe me, you can really amplify the successes that you achieve when you start to turn it on. And you may need to turn it on manually for a while. For people like myself, Madan, Olga, Vadim, we still get caught out. We sometimes automatically go into compete mode, right? Because the environment around us, the way someone says something, the mood, the tone of language, all of these things influence what we can achieve. Just think about what we just did. Just think about what you did. Think about what you could have done and practice doing things in a different way. Ask the question before you act. Look at the bigger context before you focus in on the task. But always talk to each other like Group 5 did, regardless of the task, all right? I still give that a big thumbs up. I'm smiling here. I will try and put my camera back on, and hopefully I won't cut off the voice. Thank you for your time on that. I hope you've learned a lot from that. And let's go to the next task. Back to you, Olga.
Arthur, thank you so much for this experience which you give us a chance to have it. And yeah, I hope that it gave us a lot of inspiration, because of course it's not about Mark, it's about finding how we can improve ourselves and our teams. And actually the paradox with time, we have always limited of time. We try to focus on the task, but lose some opportunities. But let's try
Olga,
to solve
Olga,
another.
just one more thing.
Yeah, please.
Just one more thing. People think they're cheating if they look at another group. To me, collaboration is the ultimate form of cheating, right? What you're doing is you're all cheating off each other, stealing each other's best ideas, but then putting them together through collaboration to create one that's better than any one of those ideas alone. Don't be afraid of cheating. Steal with pride. Sorry, I'll shut up again now.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much one more time. Okay, let's move in this high level of emotion. Let's move to our task number 2. It's our much more regular practice. You will know it. Today we try to co-create, and it was actually a reason why we start from first from the exam to inspire you, because now please enjoy the next 18 minutes to playing your team, to creating your video. That's the result of your findings. Here you can find the short hints and tips how you can do. If you have a chance to see the video from Arthur, Madan, and Vadim, how they extract the key findings after the course, you can see it's very natural. It's some jokes, some maybe mistakes in pronunciation and something like that, but it does not matter. The matter is to collect, to share with you together. What key findings do you have? And what you would like really want to say? Other KMers, other specialists who are practicing collaboration, who has the same challenges, the same difficulties as you, just please share with them your key takeaways and maybe inspire yourself also, your key findings, your key ideas, what you can use in your practice. Please discuss, and you have all ingredients, discuss what you have, choose the key ideas, and record the video. And final comment, please choose one person. You have a person who has course rights and can record the video. Choose one person who records Zoom for you today. And after that, we give you a short instruction where you should send this recording. Please enjoy 18 minutes. See you after your discussion. Welcome back. Hope you enjoy your discussion and try to remind what the key findings do you have in this course. Please feel free if you need any support to help you with recording we're ready, organize Zoom, please let us know. What I would say today before we finish, first of all, a great session. Thanks, Arthur, for showing us how to collaborate. Great second part when we try to co-create together. What we will do in the next week, we will discuss our individual assessment work. Please put your vision, what was new in collaboration for you in this course. I see the first answers in a doc. Thank you so much. And next week we will conclude and discuss the key findings in our personal level and conclude what the key findings of collaboration challenge we did. Thank you so much for the session. Please enjoy your personal assessment work, read each other, grab great answer from others. Feel free to do it, and see you next week. Thank you so much.
See you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.